Hi students, this video is presenting by dgindiaedu.com. Today we are going to discuss on the respiration system of human body. The respiratory system is made up of organs that help us to breathe. Respiration is the term used to describe the exchange of oxygen from the environment for carbon dioxide from the body cells. The process of breathing air into the lungs is called inhalation, and the process of breathing out is called exhalation. The respiratory system consists of all the organs involved in breathing. All the organs have their own unique functions that enable us to breathe, as we do on average 23,000 a day. The respiratory system includes the nose and nasal cavity, which perform a number of important functions, such as providing us with a sense of smell, warming and moistening the air we breathe in, filtering out irritants such as dust, and assisting us in the development of sound. The throat, also known as pharynx, is a tube that carried air from the nasal cavity through the voice box, otherwise known as the larynx, down into the windpipe or trachea. The windpipe then splits into two breathing tubes which carry the air into the lungs. These breathing tubes are called the bronchi, which extend into the bronchiole. The breathing tube branch out many times throughout the lungs until they eventually formed tiny thin ball air sacs or alveoli. The respiratory system does two very important things. It brings oxygen into our body, which we need for air cells to live and functions properly. Secondly, it allows us to exhale carbon dioxide from our body. Carbon dioxide is the waste gas that is produced as a part of body's energy making process. As you watch the inhalation through nose, throat, voice box and into the breathing tube, you will notice the lungs inflating. As we breathe in, muscles are working to inflate the lung. The diaphragm, a large shed of muscles which stretches across the chest under the rib cage, does most of the work during inhalation, causing the chest to expand as the lungs fill with air. The air travels down to the end of the breathing tube where it enters the tiny air sacs. The tiny air sacs are filled with oxygen from the air traveling down from the breathing tubes. Covering each tiny air cells is a whole network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Within the air sacs, the oxygen enters the bloodstream through a process called gas exchange. The tiny air sacs have extremely thin walls with a large surface area lined with fluid to enable gas is to dissolved. The oxygen particles from the inhaled air pass through the walls of the tiny air sacs in the rounding capillaries and into the red blood cells inside. The oxygen particles are then carried in the blood by structures called arteries. The arteries carried oxygenated blood around the body to your organs and tissues. This process is essential for air well-being. As the oxygen particles are diffused through the walls of the tiny air sacs into the bloodstream, carbon dioxide, a waste product of the body, is traveling in the opposite direction. The deoxygenated blood is carried in veins from the organs and tissues back to the lungs. Carbon dioxide is diffused from the blood through the capillaries and into the air within the tiny air sacs. Now that the air in the tiny air sacs is saturated with carbon dioxide, the exhalation can now occur. Watch as the diaphragm relaxes and air is forced out of the lungs. The air travels back up the breathing tube and is expelled into the atmosphere. The lungs are locked like balloons in that they require energy to expand, but no energy is needed to get air out. This makes exhaling an automatic response after inhalation. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel dgindiaedu.com. Thank you for watching us.